Hello, in this video I'm discussing all the different layers of choices you will have playing Race to Berlin. Race to Berlin is a two-player game in which each of the players, one commanding US forces or the other commanding Soviet forces, try to get to Berlin as fast as possible, moving their front lines, pushing Germans and advancing towards the Berlin. The first player who will put their flag in the Berlin will win the game. The game is a war game, but it has a lot of Euro mechanism in it. Managing resources is the key to win the game, because this game is not about the per se battles, not about the rolling dice and shooting. It's about the logistics, bringing fuel, bringing ammo to the particular front lines and moving and advancing. So in this video I'm discussing right now all the different choices players will have while managing these resources. First choice comes in the logistics phase. Each player will have 8 logistic blocks, and these blocks represent where on the whole battlefield, on the whole arena, you are sending logistics to make soldiers able to fight. And now each player is commanding 2 different forces. Americans will want to advance their American forces toward Berlin, but this player who is commanding American forces is also responsible for the desperate defense of German forces that try to stop Soviets approaching. And the same is on the other side. The player who's playing Soviets wants to advance toward Berlin, and he's managing his forces, Soviet army, and he's also supporting Germans who want to stop Americans. So actually in this game you are commanding 2 different forces: your force, American or Soviets, and the Germans who stop the other player. So your first choice, the first layer of the strategy in this game is how much of the logistic, how much of these logistic blocks you are putting on your forces, Americans, moving forward, and how much of these logistics blocks you are putting on the Germans to stop Soviets. So this is the first layer of the choice. The second layer of the choice is that the designer of the game, Krzysztof Duchak, in this game showing how difficult it is to run military operations with the limited, scarce resources. He gave us 8 logistics blocks. We have 8 these blocks that you can put on different areas that represent that you are sending there fuel and ammo and manpower, but we have much more spaces where there are our soldiers. So we want to support these Americans and southern front of the Americans, and here the whole front line of the Germans fighting Russians, but we have only 8 points of this logistics. We have only 8 tokens that we can put, so there will be some regions that will not have anything. They are asking for help, they are asking for support, they are asking for resources to continue the combat, but there will be no logistics, there will be no fuel, no ammo for them. So the second layer, where you put these 8 blocks. And then when we put these, when we are putting these 8 blocks, we have 4 types of the blocks. We have blocks of strength of 5, 2 of them. We have blocks of strength of 4, also 2 of them. We have blocks of strength 3 and blocks of strength 2. So once again, it's not only where you put these blocks, but which blocks. The blocks of strength of 5 represents a huge amount of fuel and ammo that you are sending there, so they can continue to fight. And block of strength 2, not much. This is just scarce resources, couple of trucks with fuel, and that's it that you will get. So once again, the third layer is not only where you put these logistics blocks, but where you put your strongest and where you're putting actually the weakest. The next twist in the game that has nothing to do with managing resources, but with the bluff, which I love in the board gaming, is that we are putting these blocks the way that opponent is not seeing the numbers. So in the logistics phase, we will be one after another, one player after another player, spending these logistic blocks on the different spaces, but opponent has no clue if we are bluffing and sending only 2 logistic blocks to this region, or we are sending all in 5 logistic points to this region. So the spies, the intelligence know that something is happening, that there are some trucks on their way to this region, but we don't know how much of the resources we are actually sending. So this is also a bluff game, which obviously I absolutely love. So we are after 3 layers of the choices that we are making in this game, but this is not enough. We have more of these choices. So after spending these logistic blocks and making it very clear to the opponent in which regions we want to fight, in which regions we are going to continue the combat. Then we have action cubes. Action cubes represents the time we have to continue fight, and each player has a limited number of these resources. And guess what? There is less cubes, then you have this logistic block. So for each logistic blocks, for instance, this logistic blocks of 4 or this logistic block of number 2, this logistic block of number 2 can make 2 actions, logistic blocks of 4 can make 4 actions. And so altogether you have this pool of actions that you can do during the round. And as I said, there is not enough cubes for that. So some logistics blocks will not have these cubes dedicated to them. Some of them will not have the chance to act, and you will have to spend the whole action, the whole so-called round or phase, to remove one of the already used actions, get them back to your reserves, like prepare for the another action, and then once again start spending them. So this is once again not only if we support Germans or our Americans, this is not only in which region we are supporting them, this is not only with what strength we are supporting them, but then we have these action cubes and we have not enough to support all of these planned orders, and we will have to sometimes say, okay, we have to remove some of cubes to put them somewhere else. Race to Berlin is a fascinating game. I'm of course a big fan of this game, being a publisher of the game. I played the first edition of this game back then, a few years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I have in my collection the first edition. And I played it many times, and then after some discussions with the designer of the game, Krzysztof Dyczak, I convinced him that let's do the second edition, let's release this game again, and here we are with these improved components, some tweaks in the rules, improved rule book. The game comes once again on the market. I'm very proud. Lots of choices, very interesting gameplay, super simple rules, and absolutely unique and interesting new angle at the war. It's not about just killing, shooting, it's all about the logistics, planning where you're sending your resources. Please check out the Race to Berlin Gamefound page if the campaign is still on. If it's already after the campaign, please check out our web store to see if the game is still in our offer. It's a unique, brilliant game that merges what I love the best. I love my Euro games, I love my general games. I'm designer of the Euro games like 51st State, Robinson Crusoe, Pret-a-Porter, and many others. And my personal passion, which is war games. And I have a ton of war games in my collection. I love to play them. So this game merges these two worlds. It is a war game about the bound resources. It's a war game about the logistics, chain of supply, and moving your front lines very carefully to not break. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Take care. Bye bye.